So my name is Rick Allen, and have Marco Pena with a long last name. And yeah, we're both with LS Retail, and my local office is called Navision Tech. We're out of my office is in Florida. Marco's talking to you from Mexico City today, unless he's moved. I think that's so. Just to give you an idea, this is a worldwide solution, so we're all over the place. We have a number of operations. In fact, quite a few in the New York City area. There's a lot of accounts there. We personally have some accounts there. I don't know if you're familiar with across the East River there. Dean and DeLuca has a number of retail grocery operations. It's a different market, but it's the same concept overall, and that's one of our big accounts. And they're a nationwide, and then going to be soon worldwide account too, because they have a lot of operations elsewhere. So I understand you guys have currently about 11 stores. Is that right?
Yeah. We going to open 2 more. Yeah, we already opened another one in Houston and several more. So it's gonna be more than 14, I think.
Oh wow! So I've been reading a little bit about your. Can you see my screen there? I have a little slideshow we're going to run through, and then I'm going to have Marco's going to do some live stuff here. So you have, if you got an hour or so, that's perfect. There's a lot to see, and full demonstrations for financials and everything else would be, would take some time, and we would probably want to do that with some accounting people. What are you guys using now for your financial accounting system?
Financial accounting system, I should have we have 2 actually. One is Sage, and the other one is
okay. All right.
A QuickBook. Yeah, QuickBook.
QuickBooks. Okay. So, and I see you guys are a public company, and one of the requirements on public companies, I know Sage is fine for that. QuickBooks is probably not the best for public accounting because it has some abilities to rearrange the books once they've been created, which my background's in accounting, and Marco's background for many, many years, and all of us have been around for a while. His background is in retail and IT as well. So there's a lot of crossover here, as you notice. LS Retail, and I'm just going to show you here a little bit. LS Retail, we'll go ahead and click this slide if you've seen that one long enough. So let's tell you a little bit about LS Retail. So LS Retail is a partner with Microsoft. It is a separate company, but wherever you find a major Microsoft office in the world, you'll find an LS Retail office. And LS Retail has been in partnership for over 25 years, and they're essentially, and I would consider it, because they've got all the software for any Microsoft major product. So that's NAV, LX, or AX, excuse me, and other smaller versions of stuff. But their main focus is on NAV, and it's a very large program. It is meant for ERPs, for organizations that have 3 or 4 stores all the way to 1,000 stores. It's worldwide. It's sold all over, and LS Retail is essentially, if you sell products in any form, whether it's wholesale or retail, you're going to want to deal with LS Retail. And there is a mandate out there. So I understand you guys had looked at SAP. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and SAP is a competitor, clearly. Usually we come out a little better, in fact, quite a bit better on investment costs, because we have everything already built all in one. And Marco's going to show you how exciting that is to see. This is just kind of an idea here. There's over 64,000 stores in 120 countries that are running LS Retail, and there's some very, very large hypermarkets. We have a number of supermarkets here in the U.S., but I mean, it goes all the way from pharmacy to any form of retail. This is kind of a breakdown of the retail market, and I'll send you this slideshow too, so you don't have to remember everything. But if you can notice down there at the bottom, the green section on the bottom, this is about 15% of the global market on LS Retail is aimed at grocery type market, and that's convenience stores, everything, and they run. In fact, one of the versions of the product runs most of the military base commissary operations, and that includes fuel and everything. They run cruise ships. It's a big organization, and we have a lot of program. It's very, very dynamic, yet easy to use, and all the user interfaces are really tailored to the individual. And you'll see we're gonna show you some multi-language stuff. We don't have Mandarin on today, but we can certainly have that demonstrated for you, and you can have multi-Mandarin language. I know Kevin had mentioned that.
Okay.
Just a little bit about the and stop me, ask questions. I'm just kind of breezing through this, so if you have a question, say something, and then yeah.
Yeah, Rick. As you speak, you spoke about the Mandarin. Is this the menu in the website is Chinese, or you can store everything in the database as Chinese characters?
Yeah. It's available to be seen in both English, 2 languages at one time normally. But we have worldwide languages, so you can easily operate. Like, say, for instance, you want to print out receipts in Chinese, and you also want to print out a receipt in English. We can print on both sides. Some of the organizations do that now, and you can have one side for one and one the other. As far as operations, same thing. So if you have somebody in the warehouse or somebody that's running fulfillment, that person can easily see in whatever native language they need to see in. So it's a really dynamic solution. As you see here, grocery is a major concern for us, and why? Because there's so many details in the grocery business. And you are running, it looks like full service supermarkets, and you have every department. So I'm gonna comment on those as we go along. But I just wanted to say that grocery, gourmet, deli, commissary, catering, full butcher shop activity, produce, bakery, seafood, pharmacy, all in one solution, all in one major database. And as you'll see, that's how this rolls out. So this is a very exciting program, and we can actually demo it live there for you at the corporate suite when I think it's probably worth a trip to Brooklyn to see you guys. Okay, so I just wanted to show you, this is a kind of an overview demonstration of showing you how everything goes back to one primary record. It is replicated along the way many, many times from wherever anything originates. So if it originates in the back office, it originates at point of sale, it originates at receiving or creating a purchase order. All those documents are backed up, and they do not get lost. That is one of the major, it's called, they have called a data director, and it directs all the data, backs it up multiple times, it doesn't lose it. So if one POS device is left closed for the evening, it's not going to let you close that store until that's accounted for. And so just to show you that, but this is the whole package. It all rolls around. So all data is created, all the journal entries are made, not instantaneously, they're just made in process, and then they're posted at the end of the day. But they are there, they're not going to go away, and they would be posted automatically if you didn't do it. Here's one of the database layouts. There's many, and I know Marco will probably talk to you about this, but really at the store level, you would have a replicant database. How many items do you guys carry in a store? Any idea?
It varies. For like a bigger store, they're gonna be over 8,000 or 9,000. But a smaller one is around 3,000 to 4,000.
There is no limitation. We have stores that'll run 100, over that even, with catalogs, and some of the retail organizations have enormous catalogs, even though they don't stock everything. They're bringing in all the catalogs from the suppliers and everything else. One of the questions I have here, and we're going to go along, is how are you fulfilling the stores now? So if you have a store down here in Florida, how are you servicing that with purchasing? Who does the purchasing and so forth?
The people in the store.
So the store level purchases, do you have store management there that oversees that? Or is it by department, or how do they do it?
By department.
Okay. And does anybody at corporate level oversee any of that?
No.
Your corporate office?
Yeah, because the customer are different. Even in New York City, even that we have 2 stores in Chinatown. Mm-hmm. These 2 stores, even a walking distance, is like 10 minutes, but they sell all kinds of different groceries because they're selling to different kind of people.
Right. Well, it makes sense, and all of these things can be worked out so that you have control at every level. So if you have a regional setup where somebody's in a region that's going to oversee the local stores in the region or whatever, this can be set up any way you want, and it can be changed and modified as you grow and get bigger. Because I see what you're doing. You're gaining stores and you're growing in a very exponential manner, which is really great for the stock market, I'm sure. And Mr. Long, I'm sure, is very excited about that. So, this is an operation now. I'm just going to show you here. This is the kind of thing where I wanted to break down for you. At the store level, all these things you see here, we talk about staffing. There's staff management programs in here. You don't have to turn everything on. Not everything has to be active, but it's all there. It's one program. Everything comes in it. And really all we need to do is activate the pieces as we go along. Well, the major pieces are you buy products and you sell products, and we account for them in accounting. That's pretty simple. It's a lot of process, but it's there. But when you start adding in staff management, customer relationship management, all the things that make the modern systems exciting and very viable for getting new business, so creating a loyalty programs, things of that nature, these are, and not everybody has to do it, and not every customer has to do it, but clearly you're going to have, you must have a real strong base of customers, right? That I see. I mean, what I read about your company, it seems like you do.
Yes.
All right, so this is just kind of give you an overview of what we can do here for at the store, what we can give the store to work with. Now I'm going to show you. Now here's go ahead. You got questions? So here's a modern set of POS. Now this is just pictures of modern POS, but we can run tablets, we can run iPads, we can run phones, we can run regular checkouts. Now at the normal store, you're going to run a regular checkout, but have you thought about using maybe a mobile device at customer service? Does each store have a customer service?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and so, it's often very easy for anybody today, maybe even produce or in seafood or whatever, to have cell phone activity to be able to look up a product they don't see right there. If you're managing, especially when you're managing hard goods like sauces and herbs and all kinds of things in that way, there's a lot of lookups. And somebody on the floor can help customers very easily with these modern devices. So here's an example. We have an herbal product on here. Here's a mobile POS. It's just a regular iPhone or Android phone or a tablet. Doesn't have to be used. I mean, your major checkout's going to be running your standard because grocery is fast and people don't want to wait around. But this is something where you can have, this is just extra. It's just in there. You can run it, and it's called Omni. Omni is used for a lot of different purposes here, and you'll see that. Here's another thing. Here's one of my characters I pasted in front of one of your store images, but basically this is where you can do replenishment on the shelving. Now in a lot of grocery in America, tradition has been you have people from the different manufacturers come in or the different suppliers come in, and they'll run bread and they'll do beer and they'll do all the other stuff, but you're still left to your normal shelf items. And I'm sure you must have a lot of them. Here's a way you can actually create a requisition style, and we'll talk about that in a little bit more, actual purchase order, where you don't necessarily have to know where the orders come from. All you have to know is you need this, and you need these things, and you can push up, and you can do all kinds of ease of that. And you'll see that that's really valuable in the meat department and so forth. When we're talking about customers, loyalty in stores is very popular. It's big in fashion. We do a lot of fashion stores as well. But I think you get the idea that if somebody's loyal into your store, you have the ability to recognize them with points or with special, where buy so many, get one free down the road, things like that. Maybe you don't do that now, but you will have the full ability to. Here's another potential customer walking into one of your Florida stores, and they have their app right there. Now, one of the advantages of this is an actual download app, and you have two-way communication with this client. So do you have anybody doing marketing in CRM now?
Not sure. Probably
yeah,
not.
and as you go along, of course, you're advertising new stores. And one of the great ways to show somebody, hey, we have a new product line, we have a new store, come and visit our store, come and visit. We're opening with these new products. That looks like a pretty big store there. It's just the idea is that person can even order ahead. So I know you do prepared foods, right? You do prepared foods and cut meat and butcher shop, and don't you do seafood, all that? So if you wanted to have, one of the biggest things, and most of the major groceries are doing this in the United States now, including even Walmart, you can click ahead. There's a download app. You don't even need to have an e-commerce site. We can just have this app on the website that you have for your normal website, which is informational. Click on there, download this app, and now I can actually create orders to pick up from the store. They'll come in just like a regular order in the back. It's just like if you called into the meat department and said, I want this cut and this or this fish or whatever I want, or the bakery, those items can be ready for a customer. So that's a modern advantage. We keep track of members. Now, again, you don't have to do this. You can do this as you go along. These are all things that are built into the software. So one of the things it's going to tell you is when somebody has been shopping, you can start to do campaigns around different customers. I read a lot about Mr. Long's background there, as much as I could read, and it looked very strong that one of the things he developed early on was a real niche with certain customers and keeping those customers coming back again and again and again. This is all CRM, and that all goes with that loyalty app. It all goes with, so all these things you probably wanted to do, or even customer service. So you saw Omni is used in two different ways. One, the customer has a device. Two, you have a device. Three, you have a device doing ordering. So, those are all pieces that work off what we call Omni. One of the tools for the corporate, here's their little, here's your symbol. But for the corporate folks, you have a full set of accounting back end. So we're actually, this is if you want to go from left to right, you actually have all the financial reporting, budgeting. You could actually have a financial for each location separately, because I know when I looked up, there's some individual entities there, as I understand, some financial entities. Those can be, do you know if they pay their own bills out of each store, or does corporate pay their bills?
Separate.
To the suppliers. You said corporate does?
No, by each store.
Oh, by each store. Okay, so either way, we have a setup. The advantage of this is they can operate as one company, so you'll be able to see at a corporate, at a local, and at a regional level what stores have what products. But let's just say, you're expanding. You're not probably going to have too many together, but in the New York area, you might have a few. What's the closest store to your Long Island City store? What is the closest one there besides that one? How far away?
Not sure.
Just approximately.
Just driving like 20 minutes.
Well, see, and that's exactly it. So in that region, that might be very helpful to have. If you're out of something in one store, another store might have it. It allows customers to look in and see what's available. You can do staff management for everybody. You can do corporate management down. You'll have full vision at the corporate level for each store, no doubt. But just gives you the idea. So this is the full stack of everything that's in the systems. This is a very important slide, and you'll be able to see that. here's one of the things you'll be able to have. Your corporate managers will be able to have, and store managers as well, depending on security levels, because this is huge on security. So depending on what a level you're allowed to see and do, you can have your own dashboard for sales, for information. Clearly, the CFO can see a balance sheet and income statement on this anytime they want to see it. They should be able to pull that up for a meeting, for a banking financial meeting, for a stockholder meeting, and have that right on their tablet anytime they need it. It's always available to them. This is another slide about staff management. I just wanted to run through some of the departments here so you get an idea that we think about them. So in produce, do you see any of the orders yourself or see how they do it? You guys involved in that part at all?
No, not really, because the accountant will deal with the entire, I think it's the entire department, but they don't they don't deal with each transaction.
Yeah. Well, one thing Kevin mentioned is you guys were real interested in inventory control. Is that true?
Yeah.
All right. So the reason I'm showing you this is because clearly the inventory in produce, meat, bakery, everything that you do is different. You know, it's very easy to count bags and cans on the shelf. I mean, you know, that's easy stuff. This stuff, though, it really goes down to how did you buy it? And I know from experience in produce that we have people coming in from, even if you supply yourself, but if you have alternate suppliers. So one time, peaches, lemons, onions, peppers come in so many pound bag, so many pieces per bag. Another supplier is different. You can buy and set each supplier's primary, and it can be changed by the purchasing people. But they can just click on, they need this much of this, this much of this, this much of this. It will come up in their standard look. It will switch over when you put it into a purchase order. It automatically creates a PO for the different primary suppliers. You can have many suppliers for one item and have backup. So if you've got a primary supplier, if you have a supplier that's going to be providing something at a cheaper price, but you have to buy more to get that price, or they have a special date or time where that's going to start and run out. You know, these are all things that not necessarily everybody at the store level in the department makes that decision, but they know what they need. They can requisition it and turn it in. It'll automatically create POs to all those people, whether the corporate oversees it or whether it's just done at the store level. It really doesn't matter. It's a great, and it turns all the different units of measure and quantities into the correct amount. So when you're done, you're going to have this kind of apple down here, just that many kinds of apples. But whatever this style is, you have so many, and you could have gotten them from all different people. So this, and then it also allows you to run. Do you weigh your produce at checkout?
Yeah, like you mentioned, apple or the pepper, we're gonna weigh them and count and count the price.
So this is designed. Yeah, this is designed around weighing products. Either, you know, let's just say in produce, a lot of times the customer's weighing. You know, it's just coming up to the register and they're weighing it at the register checkout, and that's all part of the system, right? No problem. But you can change prices centrally for all the scales, all the registers, all the stores, whether the scale is sitting in the butcher shop or whether it's sitting over at the checkout. You know, so you have all the different parts to it. Here's the butcher shop. We have some automation available. Clearly, this particular store here has automation running. They're auto labeling, cutting, but we can bring in all of the raw cuts of meat. You know, full carcass, half carcass, whatever pieces you have, and we actually create, as you cut them down and create them, we help you set up kind of a waste and scrap component and a labor component, and that goes into the cost. And what happens is when you create those and you sell by the pound, whatever you're selling out of the case, or do you pre-wrap anything, or is it all out of the case?
Okay, and I have a question
like steaks,
about the inventory.
Yeah, please. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just to mention like the butcher shop and or the apple, for example. We bought a whole box of apple, and there are some have been gone bad. Then we have to
Yeah, sure.
we have to throw it away. And
Yeah, exactly.
how
So
does
that,
we?
how do you do that?
Yeah,
Yes,
for inventory, how do we do that? How do you
right.
do
So
that?
we're okay. So initially we create an order and we bring inventory in. We receive it and set, we're assuming it's good at this point. And then, produce is one of those things that goes bad very quickly. So you actually have people on the floor creating scrap and waste, daily. They're going through the process. You can actually have a little tablet that you carry around with you and remove items and put them on a scrap list, and it'll just take them right out of inventory. You can do it by weight, you can do it by piece, however you want to do it. It's not a it's complex in the thing, but it's simple to operate. So that's just to give you an idea, because you just brought up a big complexity. You have a lot of waste, especially in produce. Meat, hopefully you don't have as much waste, but you do have a lot of fat cut, a lot of bone, those kind of things, and hopefully you don't have spoilage because people are selling through it. So you're doing a good job of ordering what you do. In this process, we actually have an automated process for packaging. As you sell it, you actually remove the full cuts from the inventory. We can go over each department individually, and I think at some point when we're in this process, we would love to have your department people in on a meeting, and they can discuss their individual issues, because everybody has them. And the fishmonger component is the same thing in seafood. You have many different angles there. But the scales at seafood, so if I go up there and I buy shrimp right now, are you weighing it there? And I'm taking a label bag up to the checkout? Is that the way it works? Do you weigh it and label it right there?
Yeah, but the question is, the issue is the scale has to be supported Chinese, because the print the Chinese name on.
That can be done. That can be done. We have a scale support system that's been around for a long time, and they support scales of all kinds, or automated scales or semi-automated. And what it does is it actually outputs, so the system will output price changes, things like that, to the scale. Scale weighs the product and produces a label at that point to take up to the front in my cart. So now they've wrapped, 5 pounds of shrimp, and I'm carrying that up for a big shrimp boil tonight. So, or clams or whatever I've got. And it's all sold by the pound. So it's very easy. I see all your characters there. Those are actually from your stores. You probably recognize them. I took pictures from your stores.
Yeah.
But I'm just showing you, there's 3 areas right there where produce, meat department, or butcher shop meat, and seafood are huge issues with dealing with inventory and control. And the buying is different, and the process is different, and the selling is different, and then the waste is different. So we have all these things to consider, and we can set up processes for all those to help you. This one here is I just put on about, because you seem like you do prepared foods, right? So, so if you have like a salad bar, or you've prepared dishes, we support the full recipe management system. You can use that for a lot of reasons. One, you want to figure out how much you should sell something for, because this is how much it's going to cost you on average to make. There's a full-on recipe management, all the things that you would want to do with commissary, all the nutritional information. So if I'm preparing food and I'm selling it that way, I might have to put in a lot of states require you to put. Florida's one of them, requires you to put the labeling on that says what's in it and what the nutritional value is and what the allergens are and all the other stuff. This has all of that in it. It's all part of it. So we don't spend too much time on it now, but I just want to show you. This is just reiterating that in all of those departments I just showed you, you can use these devices that you see here all the time, tablets out on the floor. You can use your regular guns for receiving. for creating labels, for all the things you want to do, and it works whether you're running a forklift or managing out of the store. So I just wanted to show you that, and I think that gives you a good overview of what we're talking about, and this is maybe hopefully a little future for us to see and do. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Marco, and I'm going to let Marco be the presenter, and he's going to show you some live stuff, and we're going to show you some multi-language and so forth and so on. So let me make presenter. So Marco, you're the presenter there now. So you see Marco's screen. It just says new meeting. And then Marco's going to have some stuff here for us.
Okay.
All right, Marco, take over.
Hello, everybody. First of all, thank you so very much for taking the time to have this session with us. Do you have any questions out of what Rick was showing you before we can go into the app and I can actually show you everything that Rick promised?
Yeah. For the inventory, you just mentioned the scan guns, right? Because the staff in the store, they don't have time to scan everything when they receive the products. But the vendor, they gonna put more like extra products, or there will be a lack of some products. So how do you deal with it? The first issue is the staff in the store, they don't have time to scan everything, so we gonna count every product again after the driver left. And the other two issue is the vendor gonna they will. I mean, they could put some extra products, or they're gonna put less. For example, we ordered 10 boxes of like some snack. They only give us like 8. How to deal with it?
Okay, and those two which were not shipped, do you back order those, or did you just forget about them, and if you place a new order, you're gonna order them again if you still need them?
Okay.
Yeah, we can do either ways. We can just keep waiting until these arrive if they are sent to back order, or we can simply adjust the order, and I think that's very common in your industry, that you receive what you can get from the vendor, and you're actually not waiting for them to fulfill a back order, but this can be on a case by case, and of course I can show you that a little bit later.
Okay.
Good. Can you guys see my screen now?
Yeah. Sure.
Excellent. Well, as Rick was saying, this is a full-blown integral solution that we go for end-to-end, from serving customers at the store to producing a P&L at the back office, everything into one single solution. That is one of the key advantages that we have, that we do not have to build several interfaces with several satellite systems all around the place, and making sure that all these interfaces are up and running, and not having to worry, what if I migrate to a new version on one of these pieces of software, will this break all the interfaces that we have? Because everything comes out of the box from one same solution. And what we are seeing here, let me show you this list. Here under departments, we can see all the different areas that the system is covering. It covers all the retail operations. It covers, we also have hospitality modules. So if you guys have, as of today, or plan to have a restaurant, either a quick service restaurant or a full-blown fine dining restaurant, we can also serve it from our solution. All this Omni Suite that I will show you in a bit, it's also controlled centrally. So either we have this mobile loyalty that Rick was talking to you about, where your consumers download the app of your stores and they can interact with you, they can find the store, they can see the prices of our goods, they can even place an order from their app, or a mobile POS for servicing the customers within the store while having mobility. So this could be installed in anyone's cell phone from the store. Maybe the store associates, they can download the app into their mobile phones and use it also as a point of service to the customers. E-commerce integrations with both Magento and Nopcommerce, and of course all the financial suite, everything into the same solution: GL, accounts payable, receivables, purchasing, even manufacturing if you produce your goods, everything into one single solution. Also, another thing about the solution is that it is a role-based solution. So every member of the organization, whenever they log into the solution, they are going to see a special dashboard that was created for them. So in this case, for instance, I just took an example. I logged in as the store manager. So as a store manager, the bits and pieces of information that I can see here are related to my role in the organization. So for instance, I can see that I have to create 2 POs because in this example, the store managers are eligible to create purchase orders. So he still needs to submit 2 POs. He can also request for goods to the central warehouse or to the corporate office. So he has 1 stock request to be sent. And at the same time, today 2 purchase orders are expected to arrive and to be delivered to my store today. No transfer orders are pending, no recalls from the head office. So in here, I can see what documents I need to take action upon. For instance, the 2 POs which are arriving today. If I click on that button, and you can see all this interface, it's the way Microsoft creates the user interfaces now. Remember that this is entirely based on Microsoft. This is a Microsoft solution. So if I click here on the POs expected today, I can see that there are 2 coming, one from AR Day Property and one from Dance Dairy Limited. And if I double click here, I can actually see the PO itself, and I can see that I am expecting broccoli to be arriving today. I can also see statistics about the vendor, what's the balance, if there are any other pending POs, etc. And I can go back to my dashboard. Since I am the store manager, I can see some information related to my store. I can see that I have 4 POSs at my store, and I can see the sales by POS. Underneath this, I have also the store hourly sales. I can see what's my store been selling from 9 to 10, from 10 to 11, from 11 to 12, and so forth. So I can see all this information right immediately as soon as I open the solution. In here, for instance, if the system has issued any alerts to the store manager, he can see them from here. I have here another view of my sales. I can see the sales from today, yesterday, from the entire week, from the month, from the year. And I also want to mention that all of these sections, this is just the initial suggestion that we provide. All of this is customizable, and you can add and remove sections into this, just as when you are creating a SharePoint web portal. It's very similar. It's based on the same technology, actually. We also have store messengers. So when we want to send messages to the stores, instead of having to send a massive email to the store managers, or I don't know, maybe Skype conversations or stuff like that, we can do it within the solution, so they can all see these kind of messages. And for instance, I want to log off of the system, and now I'm going to log on as one of the buyers from the organization. So it may look like the same, but if you see the details in here, the sections here are different because these are the sections that concern to a retail buyer. He has more POs, the other guy only has 2 that concern to him, but for this guy, he needs to take care of 37 POs today. 6 are outstanding. He handles transfers between the stores, so 16 transfers will take place today. And there's one buyer's push that he's buying product and he's pushing these to the stores. So as you can see, even though it's the same kind of buttons, these are relevant to each person. For instance, underneath this, he can see how many sales orders are being created per every location. So it's different pieces of information, how many POs are open, how many POs have been released, or in here he can have a quick list, a quick access to the top vendors that he is the one taking care of them, or maybe the products that he has to handle. In this case, this guy handles the milk, this bike, etc. Well, as you can see in my demo database, I sell all kinds of stuff, clothing, groceries, etc. This is just because it is a demo, but it's just for you guys to have an idea how I can start being productive immediately after logging into the system. This section in here, it's showing every single module in the solution, and this is here just for the demo purposes, because when we're showing the solution, we have to jump back and forth all the different corners of the system. But in real life, this guy, they only see a few things, the things that they have to do. So I don't really need any training. If I am a buyer, if I open the solution, and in here I have a button to create a quote, to create a PO, I can immediately start doing that. Okay. We were talking about the multilingual scenario that you guys have, and let me show you this. I'm gonna go to the items, and I am going to select one item, for instance, these mushrooms, and let me show you. We have a button here called translations. It is here. This is the translations button. So if I go and press this button, I only have 2 languages. Sorry, I only speak English and Spanish. And in here, you can see I have the description of this item. In United States English is mushroom, but in Spanish it's champignon. And I could add any other languages in here. So as Rick was telling you, we also have customers using Mandarin in the solution. And actually everything that I see on the screen, it can even be in that separate language. I can see everything here, home, actions, reports, everything is in English. But when you install the right language, in this case, again, I only have English, French, and Spanish installed. Let me switch to Spanish, and I'm not going to terrorize you with everything in Spanish, just to show you how everything gets translated. Even the menus of the solution, everything is in Spanish now. So it would be the same once we acquire and we apply the Mandarin layer on top of the solution. Everything is going to be in Mandarin. So you can see even these tiny little buttons, everything now it's in Spanish. So that is a selection. So let me switch back to English.
Is that kind of what you were looking for, guys? I was just asking to be able to switch back. Yeah.
Yeah. This is one of the condition we're looking for. The other one is we hope we can enter everything in Chinese, like the product's name and point of sale, everything in point of sale, they're going to be in Chinese.
Everything can be in Chinese. And let me show you this other thing. Your vendors, there are some goods that you will be buying from China and some goods that you will be buying locally, perhaps. So you can also set the language of the vendor. And let me open the vendor. And here you can see, for instance, these guys, they are based out of France. So
Yeah.
if there is an item translation of the goods in French, when the system produces the PO, it's going to produce a PO in French so that your vendor can understand it. And if you're sending this PO to a local vendor in New York, then this PO would be produced in English. And if you are creating a PO for China, then this would be produced in Chinese. So even the documents that the system is issuing, they are also multilingual. Let me show you now on the POS, for instance. And again, sorry, I only have Spanish and English, but let me show you. The POS, the user, even the users, maybe some members of the staff, they will be English speakers, and some other members of the staff, they might be Chinese speakers. So you can also select the language that the user is going to see. So right now it's in English. So let me open the POS to show you. I'm just going to open one of the POSs.
And guys, while he's doing that, I'm just going to let you know that when we do a full demonstration, we definitely would like to be able to show you some of the Mandarin, because I know that's a big criteria, and this is, you're a big enough organization to justify that sort of request and to have that done, and it's available. So we will make sure that happens. So just be rest assured.
Take a look at this. All the menus, you can see everything. It's in English. Everything I can see here is in English. This operations menu, it's also shown in English. But if I change the language of this user, and again, it would be Mandarin, but in this case, I can show you in Spanish. If I select Spanish as the language for this staff member, if I open the POS again, it is going to show in Spanish. Okay?
Yeah.
So the same thing would apply when we are switching to Mandarin. Everything on the screen can be in multiple languages. Even in this case, the items that I look for, let me show you the milk. In here on top, it's on the base language. In this case, my base language is English, so it's milk 1 liter. But the user, he's gonna be reading in Spanish, so in this case in Mandarin. And remember, the store is located in the United States, so the store will produce tickets. Right now, the way it is, it will produce the ticket in English. So even though the user can see everything in Spanish, I am producing a ticket in English. So you can see in here the description, it's milk. So I was seeing leche here in Spanish, but the ticket is in English. And of course, if I want the ticket to be in Mandarin as well, then I would change the language of the store. Now let me go here to the store. This is store number 1. And I can also change the language of the store. Now the language of the store is Spanish. So if I open the POS again, let me go here. I'm going to add again the milk. Now this time the 2 liters, and this time the ticket, it's going to be in Spanish as well. So leche in this time. So you can have as many languages as you want. Of course, you have to maintain the descriptions in both languages, and that way it's going to be easier regardless of the language the operator is speaking or your vendors are speaking. The system will know the right language for the right person.
Right. Question, Marco.
Yes,
Can
yes,
I
yes.
ask you a question? Yeah. Yeah, you just demonstrate you can show both in English and in Spanish.
Yes.
And does that mean when we enter the data, for example, the milk, we have to enter both English and Spanish. For us, it's both English and Chinese, right?
Yes, you have to enter both languages. And let me show you again. Here in the product, you only, well, let me take the milk again so that we can be showing the same thing. Here is the main language. So in here, you guys decide what is the main language going to be. In this case, it's going to be milk, 1 liter, so it's in English.
Yeah.
And then under this button, I am typing the translation to the other language. So this is coming from here, but I will add the other language in here. So maybe I can add Portuguese, and this is going to be leite. So you can have as many languages as you want. You can have only one, and that's the base language. That's the language that I punch in here, and then I can add as many translations as I want.
Okay.
So this is Rick jumping in here real quick, and Marco, that's an amazing piece. And you guys notice this is Microsoft, right? So everything in here is import export that you want to do is all involved with Excel and all the other normal things. So everything kind of looks like a spreadsheet in some form, and we can import those translations, just so you understand, I didn't have to sit there and type them all. If you have a catalog from somebody that's in one language, we can import that, and maybe they have a translation available. We can import both, or we can import, a standard translation. So there's a lot of ways we can do this and then hit the system with it. If you're setting up an item, one by one and new items, sometimes it's faster just to do it by hand, and Marco was just showing you. But clearly, all that can be imported. Nobody wants to sit and type in thousands of items. That's all going to be loaded in from a database that's already there. There are many databases out there, including catalogs from suppliers. So just so you know, as long as we're dealing with the correct unit of measure, which is obviously clearly important, and the pricing that goes with that unit of measure, then we have the correct angle on all of this. So I'll let Marco jump back in. Sorry.
No, that's good, and exactly. I mean, it's not that we have to punch and type everything. We can import this massively from another data source, and the same applies, for instance, for the item pictures. We can also, if we decide to, upload pictures for all the items. So in here I have this milk picture, and I don't know, let me see what else do I have. Pepper. I don't know if I have a picture for pepper. Oh yeah, there's the picture for the peppers. We can even upload the pictures, so they can be shared somewhere in the network, and we can then just associate the pictures in here. And not only pictures, let me show you, I think one of the clothes, or maybe the wireless mouse. For instance, let me take this mouse, and I know you guys do not sell any mouses. This is just, again, another example. I can have more than one picture for one item. And I can also have a full-blown description in HTML for the item. So look how it looks. This is a wireless mouse. It's a handy mouse with 2 buttons, 2.4 gigahertz. So in here, you can put also a very large explanation about the goods, and this can be either in English or in Mandarin or both. And we use this information for all Omni retail. Sorry? Sorry, was there a question?
No, that's my boss talking. No.
Okay. So I was saying, you can here put a very large description, and this is widely used on the Omni retail part of the solution. This is widely used when I have a handheld in my hand, and I am a sales associate, and I need to provide further information of the product to the customer. And a typical POS or a typical ERP solution, they only care about an item number and a plain description. But we know that you guys are retailers, and we know that Omni Retail, it's it's what it's leading our industry nowadays. So that's why you have room for putting these item pictures, these HTML descriptions, and you can make use of those from the POS itself. So let me log in into the POS again, and hopefully I did put it back in English, so I won't be the only one understanding what it's saying there. Oh, sorry, it's still in English, in Spanish. Anyway, let me just go and look for this same wireless mouse. It is here. And if I scroll the POS to the left, I can see that full-blown description here at the POS. So I can provide extra information to my customer regarding this product. And I was sure I did change it to English. Sorry about that, but I can
so let me say one more thing. That's a real important feature today. Do you have customers that have allergies and things? There's a lot of peanut allergies. There's a lot of allergies to wheat and gluten. Do you have any of those, or?
I think for Chinese, most of the allergies are seafood.
So what I'm saying is a lot of these things, you know, because of the extra information, sometimes customers will ask, is this got this in it? Does this have MSG? Does this have, and you'll be able to tell them with things like this. This is what I'm saying. So it's just another feature for convenience.
Exactly. And let me show you now. I'm going to show you my iPad. And as Rick was saying, we have plenty of mobile apps. Let me begin with the mobile POS. So this can be my mobile phone, or this can be a device at the store that I can use to assist the customers. And let me log in here. So you can see this is an iPad, and I can also start a sale from here. I can look for the top selling items in here. In this case, I have clothing, but it doesn't matter. It's just an example. It can be anything. I can also actually browse our entire master file, and I can look for any given product. So I'm going to look for the same mouse that I was using before, so that you can see how I can display the same item picture and the same description in here, where it is a wireless mouse with 2 buttons operating at 2.4 gigahertz. So I could be telling this to the customer face to face just by having the phone on my hand, getting all this information. I can also see the stock available that I have, not only at my store, but I could actually also look at the inventory that I have at other stores. In this case, I only have it at mine. But have I had more items at other stores, I could see it from here. And actually, I can even issue recommendations from here. If you're interested in this, you might be interested in something else. And these recommendations, they come from, this is actually a service, a cloud service that we are contracting with Microsoft, and it's using these machine learning supercomputers from Microsoft called Cortana. So they could actually even suggest what other items I can sell combined with this wireless mouse. And well, as I was saying, this is a mobile POS, so I can actually collect for this sale in here. I just click the total, and this is the total that I have. And I can collect and get the cash from the customer in here, maybe the credit card, maybe I have a cradle on my iPad or on my mobile phone that will allow me to read the credit card, or I have a mobile Verifone or Ingenico device to do so, or I can simply suspect the transaction in here and have the customer paying at the POS. So I can do it in either way. Let me try to cash it directly from here. So they are paying 10. I can even print the receipt here through a wireless printer, or maybe to the printer connected to the traditional POS. I don't have a printer right now. And I can also send the receipt by email. So I can ask the customer what his email is, and I can send this to his email. I'm going to send it. So now the customer, they have their receipt in their inbox. Let me go here and see the email. Of course, now I am the customer, and I have a new email. And this is actually the ticket for the wireless mouse. So we are sending this immediately to them through their emails. And of course, instead of putting the ticket in here, because if you see, I have also attached the ticket as a PDF, maybe instead of putting the ticket twice, I could start putting some marketing and advertising in here, as Rick was saying. Maybe we have a marketing department, or we want to build one, and we want to issue messages to these guys to come to our stores. And actually, I can also put a link here so that they can download our mobile app, so that they can be in touch with our store. And that's the next thing I wanted to show you, the mobile app.
So let me jump in here real quick one more time. So Lucas, do you guys take special orders for the bakery, or for anything that you take some orders in advance? Like you take an order in advance for something, or a deposit on something? Does that happen?
No, we don't do that. Yeah,
you don't do that.
Yeah, we place some order, and then the vendor will come to our office, and they gonna get the check.
Okay, I see, but I'm talking about, like, for instance, if a customer says, I need a full, roast of something, or I need a full, I know you sell full pork. So if I need a whole pig roast or something, and I want it, I order it 2 days in advance. See, these are things that, that kind of things. Is that, you do that kind of thing?
Sometimes, yeah. But that's an oral deal, like it's orally, not within system.
Right, and you do wholesale too, right? Some wholesale.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all of those things, this will do all the wholesale processes plus the retail processes. But there's one right there where customer service, or maybe I ordered ahead, because like we have down here many groceries clearly, and you go and order a cake to be made, or bread, or whatever you have in the bakery, for instance, and have that be made the next day. And maybe I just place the order, and that's the end of it. Mostly we don't take deposits. But if you were to take a deposit, or if you want to do any of those things, easily that can be done. And what he was just showing you there, to be able to suspend an order from mobile, let's say I'm customer service, and I can take an order. Maybe I'm helping an elderly person that can't get all their own stuff. I can go around with them, help them get their stuff, suspend the order, and transfer it over the checkout line when it goes. So there's all kinds of advantages for that. Just point that out to you. All right. I'm sorry, Marco.
No problem. Thanks for the comments. And well, as I was saying, this is a mobile app that your customers, that your consumers can download. And for instance, the first thing they could do is that they can find all your locations in a map. Where are all the stores? Where's the nearby store next to me? And I don't know, let me open one of the stores, maybe this one. And in here I can see a picture of the store, of course, where's the address, the phone number, the opening hours, so I can call the store directly from here, or I can even just go and ask to my favorite app, Maps application, to take me there. And so I can launch from here my Apple Maps, my Google Maps, my Waze, or whatever app it's the one that I prefer, so I can go directly to the store. Okay, this is one of the first things. And well, this comes combined with the loyalty program. So I can sign in for the loyalty program. So I can put in here what's my name, my email address, confirm it, and I can even share with you what are my interests. What is it that I would like to buy from you? What is it that I do? Maybe you want to ask them, are you a chef? Are you running a restaurant? Are you buying for home? Are you, I don't know, maybe you have a small store and you are a reseller of our goods. I can ask them stuff like, in this case, it says if I like or not golf, but you guys control what questions are asking here. So that way you can get to know a new customer better, because we don't have any history with these guys. They are just enrolling for the program, but I can get a little bit of information from them on what is it that they like, what is it that they are coming here to buy. So maybe I can then send a promotion directly to them. So in this case, I am already a member of the loyalty program, and I already have loyalty points, which I can use in many different ways. I can use them to pay, or I can use them even to access new promotions. Another thing that I can do from here is that I can go and check my history, everything that I have bought from the different stores. I could check it from here. Maybe I want to buy something again, and I don't quite remember what it was that I got, but I can simply come here and check the old transaction, and I can see exactly what is it that I bought, what is it that I paid for this. I can access it from here. Notifications, you can send them notes to your customers. Maybe there's a new store opening and you want to let them know, and in this case we changed our help desk number and we want them to take a note of the new phone number. We can also send them notifications, and remember, everything is done centrally from the same solution, from Dynamics NAV. They can also check any kind of offers and promotions that they have. In this case, I have a promotion just for customers with points, or I also have offers just for the members of the loyalty program, and I also have general offers for everybody that comes into the store. So they can also see our promotions in here. I can see what the promotion is about, what's the validation period of this one, and an explanation of what it looks like, and I can even see the items that are related to this promotion. Actually, I can go and browse the full-blown master file here. Remember, I am a consumer, so I can see here what it's being sold at the store. And I'm just going to pick up the same wireless mouse that I was using, because if you remember, it has more than one picture. So from here, I can see all of those pictures in my mobile app, and I can also see again the description of the item. So this is why it's very important to have all this information, because you are serving multiple channels now. You're retail stores, but you want to serve the customers directly, and you want to provide tools to the customer care areas, also to serve the customers better. And I mentioned that we also have integration with Magento and Nopcommerce. Of course, all of this is also available to these two different e-commerce sites. And well, from here, I can also check the availability. So I can see that it is available in two different stores, this store and this other store. So maybe I just want to go and drive and get it myself. So I know that this item is available at this store. I just select the store, launch my map app, and I will drive all my way there. Okay? Or as Rick was saying, maybe I want to pre-order this. Maybe I want to put this on my basket. And now I have the item on the basket. And well, I can see I have plenty of stuff there in the basket before my mouse. Let me get rid of all of these. Just to, oh, sorry, I also got rid of the mouse. I can put it back again in the basket. So I have it here. So I can create all this list of the things that I want to buy. And I have two choices. I can buy them directly and have them delivered to my place. And of course, I have to pay for these. Maybe I have store credit, or maybe I will put a credit card into this. And if that is the case, we need to integrate whatever credit card or whatever bank you guys are using. So I can put this on my credit card, or I can have the click and collect option. This click and collect is this pre-order where I just say, well, I want to buy this, and I want to pick it at this store, and it will send a message to the people at the store letting them know that I want to order this, and that I want to pick up this at that given store. So I'm going to place this click and collect order for store number 1000, I'm going to place the order, and now the customer is receiving a message. Thank you. We received your order. We will let you know as soon as this is ready. So let me go back to the store, but let me put it in English first, which I didn't do the last time. Okay, my store. Okay, it doesn't have a language. And my user. It still has the language. So it's now going to open up in English. So when the store associates log into the solution, he's going to see here and here that there is a message. And this message is meaning that somebody pre-ordered something through the internet. So I can go and check this message. What is it that they ordered? And I can actually print a slip, a big ticket, so I can go and collect the goods at the store myself. And once I have everything collected and ready, I can just send a message to the customer. Your order is ready at the customer service stand. I don't know, something like that. And it's going to send the customer a message letting them know that their order is ready. So let me go and check my email again. Okay, it's still in Spanish. I left something in Spanish there, but it's saying that this is the order is ready to be collected at the store, and I'm actually seeing a QR barcode, so that when the customer arrives to the store, it's simply just a matter of scanning that barcode, and it's going to show the order that Tom is here and he's ready to pick up his order, and it was a wireless mouse. So we can have this pre-order process automated too, and remember that many of our customers, they are also millennials, and these guys, they just love technology. Even members from the X generation, it's also very common to use devices to automate things. So this is a good way to automate the sales process, and the customer can begin the purchase directly from their mobile phone. And well, since I am here already, I can also show you that I can see all the different information for this customer. Remember the coupons and the promotions that he was able to see at his mobile phone? Well, he can also see them here as well. Now, this is the store associate that he can come and see this guy, they have a 15% offer if they buy these goods. So I have ways to tell my store associates to try to push a larger sale to the customers, since they already know the special promotions that these guys have available. Okay, let me catch this thing, and well, I'm ready to go. And in here you can see this was a purchase from a loyalty customer, and as a loyalty customer, they are gaining some loyalty points in here for this sale. Okay. And finally, also something that Rick mentioned was our mobile app, but for inventory management. So inventory management, of course, it can be managed at the back office at a regular computer, but it can also be managed at the mobile device. Let me log in back again into the system. And there, here it is. From here, I can do all the inventory operations at the store. Let me show you. For instance, I have a worksheet for damaged stuff, or maybe from products that have gone past their expiration date. So I just select here, and you can see in plain English or Mandarin, I could explain the store operators what is it that you want to do, and this is the place to do it. You're going to be buying meat, or you're going to be buying vegetables, or you want to record something which was stolen, or you want to do a cycle count by area. In here, you select whatever is it that you're going to do, and you do it here. So maybe I want to register the goods that are past due their expiration date, and I can take again, for instance, the milk, and I can send 2 bottles of milk that they expired, and this will create all the inventory transactions to take these 2 out of the inventory. As you can see, it's a very plain and simple screen. But underneath this worksheet, we have already placed all the necessary financial information so that this will go into the GL, into the right accounts. Okay, and I can do all of this here. For instance, meat purchasing. So I want to buy meat. So in here, I can just go and look for the item for the meat. And what is the quantity that the quantities that I want to buy. Let me show you the mobile app. I'm going to log in into the mobile app. And everything that I can do over there, I can do it here here as well. If you can see, I also have the general purchasing, the meat, the vegetables. So I can just go in here and start punching what is it that I need. Maybe I want carrots. Or I can also select it from, I can actually also scan a barcode. As you were saying, I can use the camera of the phone to scan a barcode, but I can also simply just punch in an item number and the milk, and just put the quantities that I would like to buy. 10 bottles of milk, and from here I can simply send these back to the store server, and then it will populate the vegetable purchases in here. So you can see here are the 10 cartons of milk that I ordered from the mobile app. They will go back into the system. Okay.
That's a pretty slick operation when you can do that. So that's why I was asking about ordering earlier, guys. So just to see how, when we actually work with some of the people from the store, how they actually order, you can see how many ways there are to do it, and whatever process works best for that person or those managers is easy to do.
Right. I'm Sean. I have a question about promotion. And the Marco show us application notification, and we want to know, would you like to provide the message promotion service or the email promotion service?
Okay. Let me show you here. I have the sales and marketing section, and I have many different kinds of promotions. I have a simple discount offer, or I can have a multi-buy. If you buy 5 or more, you get a price. If you buy 10 or more, you get another price. This is the multi-buy. So these are the items, and these are the lines. If I buy more than 5, I get a 5% discount, more than 10, a 10%, more than 15, a 15%. I also have total discounts. If I buy more than $100, I will get a 10% discount. I also have a mix and match. So if I mix the right combination of goods into one transaction, I will get a promotion. In this case, well, this is clothing, but again, if I get one of these products, one of A and any of B, I will get, in this case, a 20% discount. So I have all these kinds of promotions, even promotions by tender type, if I pay cash or if I pay credit, etc. I have all these kinds of promotions, and I can publish these promotions from here. So for instance, this one was there at the mobile app. This is a promotion for 20% discount on leather goods. And in here, I put a description into the promotion. I put a secondary text describing entirely the promotion. I can even add a retail image for this promotion. And in here, you can see I can put a link to maybe our website, maybe our Facebook page, a disclaimer if I am to send this through email. And from here, I can send all the targeted emails. So this is going to connect to your email server, and it's going to send all the different emails to the different target audience for this promotion. I can actually also post it into our Facebook page. So it's going to be posted with this description, with this text, with this image, and it will show a link in here as well, or I can also post it to Twitter. So from here, I can distribute these promotions. And of course, these are also shown in the mobile apps of our customers using the mobile loyalty solution.
That answer your question, Sean?
Yes, that's perfect. That's what it was.
Oh, good.
Right.
There is two directions on this, right? There's connecting to the customer, letting them know about things. Then the actual programs within the stores, we're always running discounts, coupons, whatever it is. We can publish and do all these many different processes. But one that really stands out too is being able to do something over time, which brings in that loyalty program. So I don't know in your market, what is, but I mean, as an example, in the pet food industry, I don't know if you carry pet food, but pet food, Blue Buffalo particularly, runs things all the time where they have a promotion supported by Blue Buffalo supplier. And they will come in and say, okay, well, you can get any of these cat or dog foods in these cans or whatever, and when you get the 10th one, you get one free. Or when you get the 9th one, you get one free. And that can take a long time. It can take months, or it can take a short promotion, or, so I can get that promotion right now in this transaction, or I can wait and get it on another transaction. And as soon as I hit that, the cashier notifies, it sees up on the screen. Not only is it going to show in your customer app if you're using that, a loyalty app, but that's going to show up there. So we're actually mixing customer loyalty over time with actual store discount processes. And it as many as you can think up, we can do. And we've done some real exciting ones, but yeah, we can do all of those things. It's pretty cool.
Yes, that's good.
Okay, well, I also wanted to show you a little bit some of the just a couple of reports and analysis that we can produce out of the system. For instance, I want to see my top selling item. I have this, and I can see that my top selling item is the milk of 1 liter, 281 units. But as you can see, in terms of dollars, it's really not that significant. So I can also sort this out by amounts, and I can see that the most significant item is this touring bike. And this is just an example of the screens that we have in the system. Maybe seeing this by item, it's way too much detail. Maybe I want to go to the highest category, and I can see which category is the one that it's selling the most. And I can also sort it by quantities. So it's clothing, and next is dairy, and then beverages, fruits, vegetables. Maybe I want to see the details. Okay, I know now that clothing, it's what I sell the most. And within clothing, it's children, and then women, and then men. So you can see it's very easy to produce these kinds of reports from the system. And one that I like a lot, it's also the hourly sale. For instance, I want to see the hourly sales, and you can see I have one column per every store. So I can see that from 10 to 11, store number 1, it's selling $472. Store number 2 is selling $2,000. And from 11 to 12, 71, 11, 78. So I can see these statistics for all the stores very easy and in a very fast way. Maybe I don't want to see the sales. Maybe I want to see how many items I am selling per store per hour. And I can see it's 34 items from 11 to 12 in store number 1, 32 in number 2, 331 in number 3, and so forth. Maybe I want to see the average ticket, the average amount that I am selling per transaction. I can also see that as well in here. Actually, I can concentrate all these statistics for one given store. And in here, I can see how many transactions per hour from 11 to 12, 36, how many items were sold, 169. So the average ticket was 4.69 items per ticket, and the average sale was $1,987 per ticket. So you can very easily go and see these kinds of information. You can produce charts out of these, and many of these are very easily exportable to either a Microsoft Word or a Microsoft Excel, or you can even send it as an email directly from here. And well, this is basically what I have prepared for you guys today. But of course, I'm open to any kinds of questions, or also from you, Rick, if you think that we should emphasize something else, I could be more than happy to do so.
Can we make an appointment to you come to our office and show our show our boss and our other colleagues that they may want to see the Chinese version of the software?
Yeah, we can make an arrangement to do that. Do you have a timeline set for? So now I know you guys are looking, and I saw a budget, so this is, you've got this budgeted to an extent. Clearly, that's variable, and we're going to be able to come in, I'm sure, well under your budget, is what I saw. But I was just curious, do you have a timeline when we want to do this? How quickly do you want to see this at the corporate level? Right away.
I'm not sure. You better talk to Kevin. He knows this better.
Okay.
He has a main picture there.
Okay, so you want me to work with Kevin on setting up how we would go about doing that? Yes, I will. And I wanted to point out one other thing. This is, and this is just more kind of detail like what Marco was just showing, but I thought it's very interesting from somebody who's been around for a long time with this, and Marco sees the same thing. For many, many years, grocery is a perfect example of categorizing and grouping things for sales, because we want to know how much we're selling in this area, this area, this area, and this area. But for, analyzing in a large store with huge inventories, sometimes we just kind of overlook certain things, and we'd kind of like to see trends. And this has what we consider dimensions, and those dimensions can be physical dimensions, they can be dimensions about finances, they can be dimensions about traits of a product. So as an example, and I saw the opening picture there, Mr. Long was standing in front of kimchi and seafood. Well, okay, so kimchi I know is a little bit of a spicy Korean sauce, or just mostly, I guess, a cabbage type that goes with a meal. So if you wanted to see just the spicy things, or just the Korean things, or just the things that we have, we can dimensionalize these things in many, many ways as we enter them and discuss them. And that way we have much more knowledge about, what's selling, what the trend is, things like that. It may not matter at first, but over time, you'll see the advantage of all this. And this system is only hitting the stride of all these things now. I'm not sure where we're headed, and maybe Marco could tell us 5 or 6 years, maybe we'll be seeing all holographic stuff. And but I mean, it is literally at that level now with the mobile stuff and all the connectivity. And so it's way beyond just, selling some stuff on a shelf and ringing it up. We have all those controls too, but it's about bringing more business in the door. And that is all the customer interaction things that we can do to keep them coming. Your core people are always going to come, but You know, I have a son that lives in New York City. He's in Manhattan, and he works. He just got a job with Trader Joe's part-time. He goes to college there as a grad student. But, you know, if he loves Asian cuisine, and he's always going down to Chinatown, well, clearly if he was in, you know, if he knew your store or what was about, he would be a regular customer and would take the subway over and shop there. So my point is, this is a perfect example of, you know, even in a small community with millions of people, you think it's small, but people don't always know other stores or all the details. And once they learn them, they'll shop them and all their friends. And that's the modern era of that. He's 25, so just to give you an idea. Let me. I should work out with Kevin on setting up the next interview and going through the process of what we think we should do.
So what's the question? What should we do?
My question is, you guys would like to see, you know, maybe a live interview there, or a live, you know, demo in you know, and we can arrange that. You have a big company and there's a lot going on, so certainly that is well worth the effort to do that in both parts. Do we have, how many people would be seeing it? So I need some more details to set up. Is that going to be all done through Kevin at this point? Or do you have other people that we need to talk to?
Probably 5 to 6 people. 6, yeah.
Okay.
6.
And so, do I make arrangements through you and Kevin, or just Kevin, or how do we do that?
To Kevin.
Just
yeah.
So I'll contact Kevin, and we'll see what we can do and figure out how quickly everybody's going to be able to see this. Okay.
Right. And
excellent.
I report everything we heard today to Kevin, and he will make the. Yeah.
Okay. Well, very good. I appreciate that. Well, thanks you guys for being there. I mean, we really enjoyed. We're doing a lot of talking, and I know he didn't ask too many questions, but I know you must have a lot of questions, and you know, we can set that up where you can ask all those and line up a whole list of things, because there's a lot of details clearly.
Yeah. One last thing.
Yes.
Could you give the price for it? I mean, you have a lot of features in this whole software, and
yes.
The price for like POS for financial parts and for wholesale parts are all this together, or we can buy them separately?
No, it all goes together. We just license some of it separately, but it all goes together. When I say that, you can buy the software, or you can get the software on subscription. And when you looked at SAP, did you look at buying the software? Or did you look at it as a subscription monthly price? Do you remember?
Okay.
I mean, either way, right? We can do it either way. But
yeah.
I'm just saying, so really you have two considerations, and I know Marco will back me up on this, but you have two considerations. One, how many people at corporate level and at management level will be using what you're seeing in the back end, the picture you see on the screen now, right? So who's using all this right now? Because if you figure at the point of sale, the head cashier or the service desk people who are managing the cashiers are going to do the reports, you know, at the end of the shift, at the end of the night, in the morning, whenever, and they're just looking at the standard retail type reports, like how much cash is in the drawer, how many credit cards, how many, you know, balancing the drawer and getting all that done. They're not necessarily interested in any of the other stuff. At the store level, though, you have people who are ordering, so they're going to look at this. So what we would do is get a head count of how many people would be looking at the system from a management point of view, even at the store or corporate, doesn't matter, and who has, because we have partial users and full users. Like for instance, if you're just doing purchasing, you may not need the full user license. All you need is a partial, and you're doing purchasing, and that's your role, and you can do 4 or 5 things. Whereas the controller needs a full license because they're going to be doing everything. they're going to be overseeing all the pieces, and they need to get into all the pieces and drill down. So there's a lot of different angles there, and I know Marco was going to say it. Then if you're just operating the store POS, there's a POS license for the device, and it sits there, and many people can use it as long as you have the log on, and you use that. So, but it's all one software. The pieces are not there. What we will charge differently for is launching the system. Did you have an idea how you would think about right now? Because we would be replacing your entire system in pieces, right? We'd start out probably the way logically to do it, unless you have an immediate need for a store. Logically, if you have all the stores open and operating, what we would do is replace the central accounting system first at headquarters and get that all put together the way we want. We would build, just for your edification, we would build or construct a store on the cloud for us all to work with and see, and mirror what you're doing now and incorporate some of these new things. We wouldn't incorporate everything at once, but the things that you have to have, your database items, all the language stuff, and all the products and prices, put that there and work out all of the discount things that you do as a normal, like if you do coupons or you do ads in paper, whatever you do, we would have to work with that. And we create that and work with your department, operations, and everybody to make sure that's all functioning just the way you want it. And then we would launch a store at a time. You'd launch one new store. You can do it every couple of weeks or every month or whatever. So essentially over a year's time, or maybe even 6 months, all the stores would be operational on this system with your home office. And it's an ongoing thing, and there's a lot of hours there. But that's how we would normally do it. Now, if you had an immediate need, for instance, that you're opening a new store, you just you're not going to buy old software, we could actually launch that store, and we're already doing it anyway. It's the same software. We just launch that store, train everybody on the basics, and then feed the accounting part while we get that all set up. Does that make sense? So we create kind of interfaces along the way for existing stuff. Like you're going to have existing. Do you know what kind of POS system you have now in the stores?
Yeah,
what brand?
Molecule.
What's it called?
Molecule. MOLEQ.
Am I catching you at a bad time?
Okay. So what we would do is figure out, if that's the process. Of course, we've worked that out with you ahead of time, how you want to do it. But if that was what you were using, then we could build an interface to take that information into once we launch the inventory and everything at HQ for all the stores, then we would just create that. You see what I'm saying? So we actually create a database within the database for each store, and then that would then report to there. And it's just a process. You'd like to have it all happen at one time, but just think of how you build the fort, and we add a little piece, but the pieces we're adding is just the operation. It's like building a city. It's all there, all the foundations underneath. All we have to do is turn on the pieces. But we need to do them, in a very methodical manner with you guys. Mm-hmm. So it's a big company. You've got a lot of stuff going on, and your stores clearly are pretty good size, and you do a lot of sales. So, do you have any idea how many transactions you do at a day in your busy store? Any idea?
It depends. The larger store, there'll be thousands of it, and it depends on the weekdays and weekends as well.
Oh, sure, so, of course. But on a busy day and the big store, how many would you do on average? Like maybe Friday or Saturday's a big day. I don't know.
Honestly, I don't know, but I only know.
It doesn't really matter. I was just trying to get a feel for, the volume. Now, would you be launching? Here's the thing too. We actually, this is Microsoft, and Microsoft has Azure, which is cloud servers. I'm sure you hear all about them and you see all the stuff. It is a very secure application. Would the stores have their own local server as well as because every device is going to have enough information in it to ring up your entire database
Yeah.
Even if the internet's down, if the internet's down, you still are going to be able to operate. It'll just sync up when it's done. But we would actually construct and probably put. We do some pretty large stores with the internet as the base. But if you looked at that diagram I had up there, you actually have a kind of a database in each device that's going to have enough product in there and so forth to run. So it's pretty dynamic in that sense. But would you think of having a server in each store? Or do you already have one in each store?
We kind of have, but it's not I don't know how to say this, because we have a server, we have a back office, but it works different way. Like you mentioned, some when the internet goes down, the transaction will still keep going, but it will synchronize after the connection goes back. But
okay,
yeah, that's different directions. They do not do this. I mean,
yeah. So what we would do is work with you guys to set up the best possible system that doesn't go down when the power, even when the power goes down. The modern POS, once even, we can probably use a lot of your current equipment, but once that gets swapped, the new devices amazingly have battery backup built right in them. They actually run off the battery, and they'll run. I mean, some of them will run, even running a scale and everything else, they'll run an hour with no power, running a scale and everything. You get out of the store if the power goes off. Things like that happen. we take into consideration all those pieces, and that's why the data replication is so huge. Yeah. I mean, not everywhere in the world has great power, and I know sometimes New York City has issues with internet.
Yeah.
So, all right.
We're gonna have a meeting in 6 minutes. It's 4:30. So.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So Kevin was not there, so I will talk to him. I'll give him a call on Monday. How's that?
Okay. Yeah. Good.
Yeah, and then we'll start working out how we're going to show this and demo, and we can actually take some people and show them, across, way. You can look at Dean and DeLuca and some other ones that are right there nearby that are actually functional, and you see what they do. But it gives you a good idea. Okay, well, excellent. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Sean, what was your last name, Sean?
His last name is Chen. Chen.
Say that one more time.
Chen. C as in Christian.
Okay, Sean Chen. Okay. Chen. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, so everybody in your organization speak Mandarin.
Yeah, most of us.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I give you a lot of credit. It's hard working, and you do really well in English too, so that's good. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Marco.
Okay, no, thanks to you, Lucas, John. Thank you so very much for your attention. And if anything, you can talk to Rick, and we would be more than delighted to join you in another session.
Yeah, we'll look forward to moving this forward. Believe me. Okay, well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. And you have a great afternoon and a nice weekend. Okay?
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye-bye.